Hello, everyone. Obviously, the stock market on Tuesday had a horrible session following the session before. Pretty significant decline. Like I made mention yesterday, normally, whenever the Russell 2000 has a heavy pullback from an uptrend, it lasts for more than a day. You can see it in September, October, December, January, March, April, and now over here in July. And that's exactly what happened as we continue to sell off today. And on that note, I have about 2.5% of cash available. It's actually about 2%. My apologies. That's all going to go into an SRTY position for the morning, and we will be raising a ton of money. We got full sell signals in Facebook, ONVO, STV, speculative stock, not a big deal. FSLR, super disappointing. SNSS, ILMN, huge reversals you can see, and Twitter, extremely ugly reversal. Gnarly stuff. Nothing you can do. It sucks. It hurts. It's costly. Ugly day today. About a whole month and a half worth of gains just evaporated in one day for me. It's going to happen probably another 500 times in my career. This is not a market for trend following. This is a market for leverage day trading of low price stocks. It did appear that the market wanted to blast off, but we didn't. And one of our biggest tells were all those speculative stocks like iCloud, ZBB, MVIS, and all those other Max Green Bot beauties that set up that before in 99, 98, 96, 95, we have very few charts that I can look at. I have to go back test. My methodology wasn't figured out then. We're still not seeing those kind of moves. We were set up and we didn't see it. So this pullback isn't entirely shocking, as our leading signal came from the laggard speculative stocks not following through. And on top of that, partial sells. SPWR is a 75% sell. HZMP is a 75% sell. And BIIB is 75% sell. The reason why they're not full sells is because the ultimate final cut loss is still there and the charts aren't destroyed yet. BIIB, HZMP, and SPWR still look, fine. FSLR, ILMN, Facebook, and Twitter, on the other hand, those charts look completely broken. So we're going to go ahead and wait around. Also, GWPH, that's a 50% sell. It's just disappointing to see all these gains evaporate so quickly. However, I'm not upset, because what did you expect with a market with no foundation? You build a house on quicksand, a small earthquake's going to tumble the entire house. And that's what we had. We rallied the entire way from May to now on below average volume. Our only volume spikes were on options expiration and Russell rebalancing days. So this shouldn't come as a surprise. You can't build a house with no foundation. And this whole rally, just like every rally, has got no foundation. So you're susceptible to these big gnarly pullbacks. And the pullbacks, along with the volume today on the indexes, are just pretty awful. So not only are we going to sell half of WAG off, half of WUBA off, and half of GWPH off. Also, 25% of LIQD is coming off because it's losing its catalyst, Max Green Bop. STV still technically is holding the ultimate final cut loss and the 20-day moving average. Don't care. It's losing its Max Green Bop catalyst. And this goes back to all of these guys. iCloud, ZBBB, and VIS looks like it wants to completely round trip. So the fact that our Max Green Bop beauties aren't developing and now our CanSlim stock leaders are reversing, this should be a huge tell that we're probably going to get choppy in base build. Let's look at some of the other leaders we don't even have positions in. Holly, 8TRO, I almost put up the same one, WWWW, WDAY, YNDX, YY, P, LinkedIn, Data, and it's just pretty ugly out there. These are not nice, normal, slow pullbacks. These are gnarly breaks. And considering the overhead resistance from earlier in the year, it's a big cautionary sign. So tonight we're going to raise all this money, and we're going to take that small 2% of capital that's left and put into SRTY as I continue to build this position. If we're down again tomorrow, we will raise more cash, sell off more of our winners that we have left, and sell off our laggards, and put another 2%, 2.5% of the SRTY and slowly build a position if we are going to pull back hard. The best thing to see would be see earnings come out. We start to get some gap higher like Alcoa after hours, and we continue to see this, and we rebound off this selling in a fierce fashion, hitting new highs. But like I said, if you look at these pullbacks before, they last longer than a couple of days. So I would think that the 50-day moving average or the 200-day moving average is in play. If they can't get above the 50 and 200-day moving average after it tests these lines, then we're probably in some real trouble. But that selling today was ugly. The reversal in those speculative stocks were ugly. The only good thing for this market is that even though the bullishness is high on the Investors Intelligence Survey, this is still one of the most hated rallies I've seen in a long time. So we'll see how it plays out. Some possible long positions that could work. Costco gave a pocket pivot point signal. I'm watching RVLT off the lows as it gets better. AFAM is rounding out, and Code is breaking out of a small little consolidation pattern, way too short of a base for me. But there are still some bright spots out there like EDRL and MRVL off the 200 through the 20-day moving average. So we'll see how this plays out. It's time to be very neutral. Thank you.